Okay, welcome back to that one random podcast shorts. This isn't a full podcast episode, and we're going to quickly react to Dame Dash and his thoughts on schools and schooling and education. So, like I said, it's going to be a quick reaction video. So let's hear what Dame Dash has to say. Yeah.
Why would you put a kid in a room behind a desk when the sun is out for their whole entire childhood? Not put them in front of water or ocean or anything that inspires them. Dim lights. If you notice, schools, jails, and hospitals all look exactly the same. Why wouldn't it be in something inspiring? Because it's a program to keep us controlled. When you have to have order of masses, you have to have them all doing the same thing so you can know what they're doing, you can monetize what they're doing, you know how they're doing it. At a very early age, I was like, yo, man, all this shit y'all teaching me, none of it makes me think I'm number one. It would make me, if I believe that y'all are teaching me that I'm number two, that I could never be a boss. They never teach us how to pass laws and lobby or be politicians, and that's the only way to make change. It has to be strategic. When the cycle continues over and over again without change, it's either insanity or it's intentional. Somebody's losing, which is us, but somebody's winning, which is them, and they're controlling the game.
Fuck. So straight up. It's true though.
It's true though.
Why our entire childhood is indoors? Just fucking said from 8
But think about it, yeah. They're like John D. Rockefeller said, I don't want a nation of thinkers, I want a nation of workers, yeah. Right? Okay. Now think about it. What they do from when you first start going to school. They're teaching you, so what do you have to do? You have to be at school at a certain time. You can't be late or you're in trouble. Mm-hmm. Name me another environment where that happens. Work.
Yep.
Right? You're then there sitting there listening and learning to bullshit that you're not interested in. Right?
By a person of authority.
But
your boss, your manager,
but you're being
teacher.
taught, again, to work.
Yep.
And listen and pay attention. You're told what time to go for your breaks, what time to go for your lunch break, what time you're allowed to finish. But then not only that, when they send you home, they say, no, when you go home, you're going to work some more.
Work from home. But this is what I say, we're now with the whole post 2019, 2020 era, which we won't go into too much, but like the whole working from home culture, it was like, well, we've been primed and we've been conditioned to do that already with homework. And, you know, it's no different now. You're working from home, you've been doing it your whole life.
School is Monday to Friday, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get your weekends off.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And then you have your holidays. Isn't that just the same as
annual leave holiday
at work?
Yeah.
Not only that, what else are they teaching you? Yeah. Not be funny. I've never used algebra in my life since I've left school. But yet you taught me in school about algebra. Why wouldn't you teach me about investments, about building capital, about buying a home mortgage free? Yeah. All that good stuff. Why would you not teach me that? Second of all, what are they teaching you? So when you leave school, when you finish in school, you get to your exams or whatever it is, give you two options. Go off and get a job and be a good citizen, or go off and do further education. Now, if you go down
a higher paying job later on.
If you go down the route of further education,
yeah.
Right, you go to college, sixth form, or whatever it is here in the UK anyway. I don't know, it's different in other countries like the US and stuff. All right. You then do your A-levels or whatever it is, your GMVQ or whatever it is now. Then they say, all right, well, now go to uni and get a degree. While you're at it, maybe even get a master's. That's like, what's that, 50, 60 grand or something stupid on top of that?
Nowadays, yeah.
Right? So you're now in debt. You've got your degree. Hey, you got 60 grand debt on your head now. You've just started your life. You're only in your early 20s and you're already in 60 grand's worth of debt. Let's not forget, as a student, you want to party, so you might have a credit card as well. You might be spending money stupidly a little bit like that as well. So let's say that's 70 grand. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Then they say, go get a job now. You try and go get a job in your field. You can't get one. Oh, not enough experience, not enough experience, not enough experience. Or no, we just don't want you. Or whatever it might be, the cultural bias or whatever it might be kicking in. All right, I need a job, I've got a degree. So you end up in any old field just to start paying money, earning money and paying back your debt. Then what do they tell you to do? Well, you know, find someone, find a woman, find a man, whatever. Oh, okay, you find a relationship. Then what's the next thing they teach you in school? Oh, well, after that, you want to get married. Okay, let's get married. Then after that, you're like, oh, let's have a kid. Then it's after that, oh, well, now go and get a mortgage. Oh, okay. But now I need to get a loan to pay for the deposit of that mortgage. On top of that, I have to pay the mortgage as well. Yeah? So then, now you pay that mortgage. Then what do they teach you after that? Oh, or should I say, program you to do? Okay. Oh, we've had another kid. Shit, this house ain't big enough anymore. We need the bigger house. Now you get a bigger mortgage. Yeah. And if you're lucky, by the time you're 65 years old, yeah, you are now free and clear of all your financial debt. The kids are good. Yeah. You and your missus in your Zimmer frame, probably, yeah, or with a walking stick or with a bad back or whatever it is. You're walking the beaches of fucking Jamaica or wherever it is. Yeah. And now, look, sweetheart,
can live.
we finally did it. We can live.
Shit.
Here you go. Your slavery is over. Yeah, your slavery is over. Now you've got the next 15 to 20 years, if you're lucky, to enjoy your life and your freedom. That's nice. So you worked hard all those years, and then of 65 years of your life, from childhood as well, because as a kid you did work hard because you were taught to work hard. That was the training period for you. And now when you're 65, you get to enjoy your life. I'll ask you this question. Would you rather be running down the beach with your wife at age 30 in your prime, financially free, and getting her down on that beach floor and banging her out, yeah, right, in the moonlight? Or would you rather be 65 years old, walking down the beach with her, hoping that the Viagra pill in your pocket's going to work?
It always does, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, but like, do you see what I mean? Which one would you prefer?
Yeah, and you know what the sad thing is, that 65-year-old situation is like a best case scenario. I think, you know, a lot of people hit 65 and they're still financially dependent on the state or on others, and at 65, as you said, their physical health it's more questionable. You know, 10, 15 years on top of 65 is becoming more uncommon in today's world. So that's a best case scenario, to make it to 65 and still be, you know, and have a wife.
It's not only 65, it's 66 now.
Yeah, I think I signed it was 67.
I've got a lady at work who can't retire because she says, I go, why don't you just retire? Because I thought it was 65. She goes, no, I have to be 66.
I think for men it was like 67 when I signed it. So it's getting worse. And as you said, like physical health and having a wife, these are best case scenarios.
But the thing is, if people haven't been able to generate, and especially now the cost of living is going up,
yeah,
how do you retire? Because you probably thought 4 years ago, before a certain period that we just talked about, you probably thought, a few more years and I can retire, I've got my money sorted. And now you're probably looking at it thinking, shit, I can't retire now because everything's gone up in price. I can't actually afford to do this now.
Shit, man.
Yeah. So you could be working till the day you die. Yeah. And this is what I don't understand, is that people don't get, and he's right. The reason they do that, what he's talking about and what we've just discussed, is because you know what? You're a slave.
Slave, innit?
Yeah, and people don't get it, and people will probably get offended. So I'm sure black people will get offended right now, yeah, because we're using the word slave. It's not copyrighted by you. There was many generations of slavery. We'll get into that as well at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I hate that fact that they feel like that only belongs to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll break that down. But at the same time, we're just slaves, man. There's two types of slaves. There's third world production slaves, and there's first world debt consumer slaves.
Debt slaves, for sure, innit?
And that's what we are. We're the debt slaves out of the West.
Yep. Just because we have a TV, we think we're free.
Well, just because we think we can go fly off for a holiday and all this sort of stuff. And I'm free. People are quite free. Well, I can go to the pub and party and do this, and I can sleep with whoever I want. I go, that's not freedom, dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just you, the slave, being given your time to go and let loose.
Yeah, probation.
Yeah, you go, yeah, don't worry, we'll give you a bit of time. That's how they control you, because think about it, if they turn around and made you work 16-hour days, and then all you got was 8 hours to be at home, rest, eat, sleep, and then get up and go do your next shift, we would revolt against that. So they have to give you certain freedoms to make you feel like you're free, and then also tell you live in a democracy. You could pick who runs the country.
Yeah, bullshit.
It's a two-tier party system, Labour or Conservative, because if you vote for anyone else, you've wasted your vote.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's all bullshit, man.
It is, and I think education system is where it all stems from. And it's like, but what is the solution then? Because a lot of parents, or you know, new parents, because I've got cousins who are starting to have children, and the only option, unless you're already financially free, it's almost impossible to send them to anywhere else other than school.
But that's about you. That's about you teaching your kid. If I had a kid, go to work, go to school, none of that bullshit. Yeah, pass your exams, whatever. When you come home, I'll teach you for real
stuff. That's what they're doing as well. That, you know, they are conscious that when they are together, that they will program them the way they want to be programmed. But as you said, for 8 hours a day,
you got to say to me, you got to play the game. You're going to learn. I'm going to teach you the real shit when you come home, right? But when you're at school, just play the game.
And just don't take them too seriously.
Yeah,
because school was a bit of a such a scam. And the sad bit is the teachers are unknowingly part of it. And that's where it's like the teachers think they're doing the right thing. The parents also think sending the kids to school is doing the right thing. Then you get the majority of the students, because there were a lot of students in school that genuinely believe that what they're learning is good and that doing homework is good. And you know what, sitting in silence for 8 hours a day is a good thing. And that, you know, the teacher likes me for doing my work on time. Yeah. And they create this environment for other students and for themselves that the education system is good, and I'm going to go to higher education. I'm going to get a degree. I'm going to get that master's degree. And then when they have children, I'm going to send my kids to school, and I'm going to make sure that they do their homework. And it's perpetually reinforcing this structure. But yeah, if you're conscious enough and woke enough to get out of it, then I think, you know, you're only doing yourself favors, really, isn't it?
I've got mates, who have got degrees. I've got one mate, who's got a degree in physics and space science. He's a software programmer now. Right. He's not done anything in that field, right? A lot of that was pressure from his parents and his family for him to go into that field. I asked him, I remember years ago, he goes, well, I never really wanted to do this. And he was still in the middle of his degree. And I said, what did you want to do? He goes, Formula One engineering, motorsports engineering. I said, so why don't you do that? You're going to make a lot of money out of that. If you love that and you're passionate about it, why didn't you do that? It's engineering. Mm-hmm. You can even adapt it to other areas, transferable, right? Mm-hmm. Right. I just watched that movie, The Margin Call, and they used the guy and some financial whiz woman who used to work for Barclays and something like that. She was breaking down the movie, and one of the characters in the movie, The Margin Call, he was his expertise, his educational background was, I can't remember, what was it, aero engineering or something like that, aerodynamics or something like that. Or he was a rocket scientist basically. And the guy asked him, what's your expertise? He's like, what's your education or what's your background? He tells me, so you're a rocket scientist. But he's the one who figured out, that his company had heavily invested in what led to the 2008 crash. And she was saying that actually happens a lot. She goes, in finance, they'll take people from here and here and here and here and put them in. Do you know what I mean? So I said to him, I go, why didn't you should have followed that. Like, why didn't you do it? And then he's like, family and the parents. And I was like,
you know what, though, is even more, relevant with what's going on today that I think a lot of young people are struggling with. And I say young people, given that I am still a young person. But I think what people fail to realize is that every year that goes by, you're now going to be competing with a new year group of people. You know, if you're saying at university there's maybe 10,000 people getting degrees. Let's say at your university there's already 100 people in your class doing the same degree, and there's 100 universities in the country. So let's just for simple numbers, let's say 1,000 people every year are getting, then that's on the lower side, but let's say 1,000 people every year are getting the same degree as you every year.
How many
in 5 years? And especially if you're going into a specialist job role or you want a high earning job role, the competition out there is crazy. And that's why, you got a bachelor's degree, then you try and get a job, but it's not enough because everybody else also has a bachelor's degree. So you go into a master's degree, but everybody else is now doing master's degree. And the competition is so tough that every year it's compounding. And I think that's making it even more difficult for a lot of people. And the UK government hasn't helped. They've decided that skilled work is not where they want to take this country. They've been pushing university and higher education for the last decades now.
I think that's changed now, because remember when I was a kid, when I was younger, not a lot of people were going to university, Most people leave school, go find themselves a job, a trade or a normal job or wherever it is. And I think at that time it was extremely cheap to go to university as well, I say cheap, but like... I
heard back in the day it was free. I think
or something
only
like
about 15 years ago, I think it was like £3,000 a year.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
Now it wasn't bordering 10K.
It was $3,000.
When I started, it was 9.
When I was a lot younger, even before our time, a lot of people didn't go. Then it just burst out where everyone was like, well, I don't want to do a normal job. I don't want to do manual labor because the generation's mindset started changing. I don't know what you call those generations, but whatever. I get lost with all these gens.
Yeah, it's too. It's too years keep going by now, isn't it?
I just say it's a new generation. That's it. Right, and people don't want to work. So, or they didn't back then. They didn't want to work like their parents worked. They want an office job. They want air conditioning and all that. Weekends off.
Nobody wants to get their hands dirty,
but still make big money.
Yeah.
So But now I think that's flipped, and I think that's why the Tories turned around and said £9,000 a year, because now we've got no skilled workers. We ain't got enough plumbers. We ain't got enough electricians. We're having to bring in people let people in from Europe and other countries, because you guys here won't take up those trading positions anymore of skilled or bricklayers and whatever, construction workers and stuff that we're in desperate need of. So guess what? We're going to make it harder for you to go to uni.
I don't think that's actually what's happened. I see it more of, because there's such a high demand for university, supply and demand curve will just say, as the demand goes up, the price goes up. And if you imagine you're a university and everybody wants to come to university and they want to come to your universities to study, why would you not increase the price? And I think it just happened for everybody, where the price just went up.
No, I
and then they offer the grants and stuff.
I suppose there's an element to that as well, but I genuinely do believe there weren't enough skilled workers.
There isn't enough skilled workers, but I don't see the government pushing any initiatives that are saying don't go to university, do a skilled work. I think they're still pushing universities.
Because they know this generation was like, for screw you, I'm still going.
Still going.
Do you know what I mean? Because that's the mindset of this generation. So how do you put them off?
But I feel like that was the government's intent, and I think the schools are still doing that. Because when I was at school, I think in my year group, there was only about...
I think there's a big... I agree with what you're saying. I do agree that
there's 4 of us that didn't go to university.
I agree with what you're saying.
People.
I agree with what you're saying, that there's probably an element where they're like, well, we can make money out of this. Somebody want to go. Let's profit
come here for this piece of paper. Let's might as well charge them 60k for it. They want a piece of paper from us. Let's give it to them for 60k.
I agree with that, but I think there's an element as well where there ain't enough skilled workers, and they're saying like, well, we need some of you to be the sun reading, arse scratching, cafe eating, construction worker who builds the fucking... Do you know what I mean?
There is a need for that, because these jobs are very important. But I personally don't believe that the government have that as an initiative that they're putting out there. I don't see them... When was the last time you saw an advert for skilled...
I don't watch any adverts.
No, but even like on the train or on the side of a bus, I've not seen one. But I see lots for universities.
I don't see a lot of universities.
I see a few.
I don't see a lot of universities. I don't think they do. I don't think they put a lot of trading stuff out there. I think it's the case of they want you to go into that. So like, for example, they wouldn't push it hard. They would just like, well, hold on.
Yeah, they definitely do.
I think there's an element of both.
I think they're trying to...
I agree with you. I think of course, why wouldn't you want to make more money? There's an opportunity to make more money. Why wouldn't you? But I also believe that there's an element to it where they're like, no, we need to keep the working class working.
Yeah.
And not too many of them in those high-rise areas, you know, the middle class and that, cool, we'll slip them in there. I think there's an element there as well. Definitely with the Tories, they don't want a working class being in those positions. Like, educated, and they want you working. You know, that's how they operate. Yeah. But look, end of the day, I just think the school system is fucked. It is, it's just fucked. It's a waste of time, in my opinion.
Yeah, stay conscious, guys. Like, don't...
Yeah.
If you know young people still at school, be the open mind to kind of wake them up, because there's a lot of degenerate shit going on in the schools. There's a lot of dumb shit that they're teaching. But if you're conscious enough,
without saying too much, I think you will know. If you know, you know what we're referring to. If you know,
but just know that, you know, they lie a lot. As I said, no fault of their own. You know, a lot of teachers are blindly doing what they're being paid to do. So, you know, no judgment to the teachers or the actual schools themselves, but the institution, the structure. If you know about it and you know what's right, you know, be an open voice to the young kids out there.
Agreed. All right. Anyway, till next time, like, share, and subscribe. We out.
Peace.